Let's talk all about the Championship playoff final. Leeds United were defeated by Southampton, and what a good game it was. Southampton with a few masterstrokes within that game. Some brilliant play from Armstrong up front, and ultimately they got the job done. Russell Martin, as predicted, was able to handle this game very well, and Southampton come away victorious and find themselves back in the Premier League for the 24-25 season. But shall we take a look into the game as a whole, into both sides' lineups and some of the numbers in and around the game? So, as you will know already, Southampton took away a 1-0 win at Wembley Stadium against Leeds United in what was, in my opinion, a hard-fought game. It was a bit different to what I anticipated with Southampton, especially, but ultimately they came away as the victors. Now, it was predicted before this game that Leeds United were going to take it away and win the game, and even get back to the Premier League with a victory, but that didn't happen, and I thought Southampton were excellent value for their 1-0 win today at Wembley Stadium. And if we do go now and look at both teams' lineups, there's not much to separate the two sides when you look at quality within the squad. You look at Southampton's back four: Stevens, Bednarek, Harwood-Bellis and Walker-Peters. Harwood-Bellis has now activated a clause in his deal with Southampton, which means he moves to Southampton permanently from Manchester City. McCarthy put in an excellent performance. A player I pointed out pre-game was Flynn Downs, and what a player he has been, and what a player he was in this game. Smallbone as well, picking up an assist on such a big day for his boyhood club. Now, unfortunately, Brooks didn't make it through the game, picking up an injury after about 35 minutes. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below or in this top corner. While you're at it, make sure you check out my Formula 1 YouTube channel, scrolling along on the ticker. Let me know down below your thoughts about this Championship playoff final. How do you think Southampton are going to fare in the Premier League? Let me know all your thoughts and feelings down below. I'll reply to every single comment, and make sure you do hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next part of this video. He was replaced by, is it Aribo? No, Samuel Edozie, sorry. Aribo was in midfield, my apologies. And then Leeds United, there's not much you can say about that side, but they're going to have to make some big changes this off-season, in my opinion. Yes, they still have parachute payments, but the likes of Nonto, Ruta, Somerville, Firpo, maybe even Meslier, maybe looking for moves to get away from the Championship, because I do believe that all of them players are potentially good enough for a top division somewhere, whether it be in Germany or Holland or even in England's Premier League. But the two sides set up in quite a similar fashion, really. 4-3-3 for Southampton, 4-2-3-1 for Leeds United. Now, it's pretty similar because Smallbone ends up in the 10 for Southampton. Sometimes Aribo ends up in the 10. It's just one of those where Southampton's is, in my opinion, a bit more fluid than Leeds' more structured midfield. But I don't think Leeds played badly. I thought they had some fairly good spells within the game. They were just unable to create what I would class as a clear-cut chance. If you do look on the right-hand side at the who will win section, 64% of the people that voted on this game, which was 30,500 people, expected Leeds United to come away victorious, and just 28% predicted Southampton. Now, I predicted a Southampton win in my preview, and for me, I just thought that Leeds United often get into this position. They're not, in my opinion, a playoff team. We've seen them years gone by where they've suffered in the playoffs, and they've had that suffering again. It's another playoff defeat for Leeds, and I do think personally they're probably, if they can keep hold of some of the players, I think they're probably odds-on favourites for next season to go up. I think obviously you've got to look at the teams coming down as well, and I don't think some of them are as strong as this Leeds United side. So got to give Leeds their credit. If they can hold on to some players, they're going to be in a really, really good position for next season. Obviously, they had some quality coming off the bench with Matteo Joseph, Jaden Anthony, Connor Roberts, Daniel James. Now, that's not to say Southampton didn't with Edozie, Adams and Manning, but they're just not quite the same levels, in my opinion. Now, if we do go over and look at the statistics of this game, now, this is where it was slightly different to what I was anticipating. Leeds United dominated the ball. And if we do split it between first half and second half, it was a lot more even in the first half before Southampton got that goal. But then it felt like in the second half, Leeds United were a much more dominant team, and Southampton didn't really come out to play in that second half. And with all due respect to Leeds United, I think Southampton did what they needed to do. I've spoke a lot on this channel when previewing and reviewing games that in these moments, in these games, Oxford United did it brilliantly against Peterborough United, and Southampton have done it again today. Oxford did it at Wembley just a couple of weeks ago. Sometimes you've got to be defensively solid. Forget about scoring goals. Just make sure you don't concede, because it's one of those, especially a final, where you only need one opportunity to win. And I think we saw with Manchester United, they sat in, defended deep against Manchester City, took their opportunities. We saw it with Oxford in the League One playoff final, sitting in, defending well, getting their opportunities on the break. And I'm not saying that's what Southampton did today, because ultimately for that first half, I thought it was a very 50-50 game. But the chance they created was Armstrong off the shoulder and putting it away into the back of the net. I will try and put a clip in, but it might make me take it out. So if it's not in when you're watching this, I do apologise. But it's one of those where I thought it was an excellent goal. Adam Armstrong, what a delightful finish. Breaking through off his defender, off the shoulder. Now, they thought he was offside. For me, I just thought it was excellent movement. And what an opportunity to create. It was a really good pass by Smallbone, brilliantly weighted into a really good space, and it just opened up the opportunity for him. Now, if we do look at both sides in a passing situation down here, you can see that both sides were in the 80 to 85% range for accurate passes. 430 for Leeds, 305 for Southampton. I think on another day, if it stayed level a little bit longer, I think Southampton's numbers would have been through the roof, because it's just something they're good at, keeping the ball, bopping it about, and that's something that we didn't see much of today, but we did see Leeds getting on the ball and not really creating massive chances, but they created certain opportunities, and 12 shots, only 2 on target. There's only 3 of them shots in the box, and it's one of those where Leeds United on another day probably score one of their chances, and we go to extra time, but it doesn't matter about another day, really, does it? And if we do just scroll down a little bit more, you can see Leeds United have 5 blocked shots, and I think that just shows the level of defensive solidity that Southampton had, making sure to get in the way of the shots and making sure that they don't have those clear-cut opportunities, which is something I don't think either side really had. I don't think either side created what I would consider a big chance. But if we do just scroll down a little bit more and look at the defensive structure, 24 clearances for Southampton, which shows they were slightly on the back foot in this game, which I think once you go in the lead, that's something you can cope with, just being a little bit further back, sitting a little bit deeper. And obviously with Leeds having the fair percentage of the ball, it then opens up more opportunities for Southampton to have clearances, and Leeds United obviously picking up more interceptions because they're further up the pitch. They're in more of a attacking structure to attack the opposition when they pick up the ball. And if we do then go down to the duels section, and you can see Southampton dominant in every category. They won more duels, 52 to 34, 42 on the ground, 10 in the air, and 5 successful dribbles. It's one of those for me where I think both sides had really good opportunities, and maybe not majorly clear cut, but they had decent chances. And I think it just shows by this how Southampton played. You look at the touches in the opposition box, Leeds United 25 to 11, but they didn't make the most of those touches in the opposition box, because if we do just now scroll up and look at shots inside the opposition box, that's just 3 compared to 9 outside the box. And it's all right having those touches, but if you're not putting them to any good use, it doesn't really create you much. And that's where it becomes a problem, because you're trying to do too much before you score. But what an excellent result for Southampton. What a brilliant job Russell Martin has done. Now, I know some people would probably say, oh, well, he probably should have finished higher than 4th place on 87 points, but it's definitely been a difficult division this season, in my opinion, especially those top 4 sides. I'm absolutely baffled at how Ipswich Town ended up on only 6 losses this season. What a season they've had. Obviously, Kieran McKenna might be on his way out of them heading into the new season. Potential move lined up to the likes of Chelsea, Brighton, maybe even Manchester United are on the cards as well. So, be interesting to see what happens with those. But what a performance from Southampton today. Really got the job done at the time when it mattered most, when Leeds were unable to turn up. But what a performance for Southampton. Shall we just close out this video then? So that is Southampton back in the Premier League. If you have not done so already, make sure you check out my Formula 1 YouTube on the scroller underneath me right now. Go and check out all my social medias, my Twitter, my Insta. If you do want to get in touch, don't hesitate to send me a message or at me directly on the public feed. I don't mind. But yeah, for me, what an amazing game. I felt Southampton handled it well. Leeds United just unable to deal with the Wembley pressure today. Unable to create anything clear-cut. But what an opportunity for Southampton now to go back to the Premier League and rebuild on what they had before. Obviously missing some big players from that time, but they've got new players in now, and let's see what they can do. So make sure you do hit that like button, subscribe to the channel down below, let me know your thoughts about this game down in the comments, and I'll catch you in my next video. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.